Hi guys, welcome back. You're listening to Comix or watching Comix on a streaming service near you. Wow, what was that about? Anyway, um, today we have our other co-host, as you know. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Esteban.
Andres.
Hello, this is Luis.
And yeah, complete cast. Love that. So I know that usually we highlight a drink throughout the week, and this time it's going to be a seventh turn to highlight a drink. So what are you drinking?
So this drink is actually inspired online. It's more of a shot than a drink. So it's called the peanut butter and jelly shot. So essentially what it is, it's screwball peanut butter whiskey, and it is Chambord, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So all it is really, I'll do it real quick for you guys. So it's an ounce. I don't have a regular shaker cup, but
Mr. Fancy over here.
whatever, man. It's for the
If
podcast.
you're listening and you hear, I'm sorry, before I interrupt you, Esteban, for those of you listening, if you heard the screaming in the background, that is Mexico scoring a goal versus Canada. So yay, Mexico.
Huzzah!
Hey.
And I'm having issues opening the bottle.
Why
I got it.
you're looking off camera like, Diana, can you open this?
Shut up! I got it.
All right, so as you're pouring that, what type of alcohol is this? What was the second one called?
Chambord.
Chambord.
Is a black raspberry liqueur. It's a black raspberry liqueur. Okay. So, like I said, I don't have a shaker cup, but it kind of gives.
So it's essentially a shot of each.
Yeah. So it kind of gives, the kind of look of it looks kind of gross. Like, to be honest, it looks like runny jelly, but it's actually really good. It tastes just like peanut butter and jelly. So cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You don't have to take it as a shot. You can sip those, right?
Why would it be called the peanut butter and jelly shot if I don't take it like a shot?
I mean, you could do sippies. My voice cowered the second he said it so dominantly. I'm like, I mean, if you wanted to.
Just how like your mom cuts the corners of your peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you could just sip it.
Thank you, Carmen. It's like a certain somebody is already here making fun of me. A certain someone that shall not be named. Back to you, Carmen.
Well, thanks for that, but it's actually back to you, Luis, because you're going to read our comments for the week. So,
right, you are. So, all right, guys. So this is the part of the show where we like to showcase the different comments that we've received, and we've said this quite a bit. We very much appreciative of you guys interacting with the show. On our YouTube, Instagram, any of our social media platform, this is your opportunity to be a part of the show. One of the things that we've done, which we will talk about a little bit later today, is the host of each show is going to give another one of the people in the podcast a recommendation to watch either a movie or 2 episodes of a series. And that person will get the opportunity to talk about it and say what their thoughts are. You, as a listener, have the ability to give this to us too. Anything, if you want any of us to watch something, or just say, hey, you guys should check out XYZ, and then we come back and talk about that. So enough of that. So I'm going to start with comments that we have on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Subscribing to you costs nothing to you, means everything to us. So we'd appreciate that. Starting with Heavyweight, long fan of the podcast. And starting with the comment, do you guys think Disney will make a spin-off movie with X-23? What are your thoughts, guys? And girl.
oh, wow. I would like to see that, although would they cast the same actress that just played X-23? And if
Cool.
so,
I mean, so.
I'm on board. But I mean, I'm on board regardless. But hopefully, I don't think it'll happen anytime soon, but maybe probably in the future, I would say. But thumbs up for me. Yeah.
Piggybacking off of what Carmen said, they'd have to first bring mutants into the universe. So I'm assuming they're going to start with or something before they go to X-23 route. But yeah, in the future, who wouldn't want to see X-23?
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, sorry. No,
that peanut butter jelly shot just is like hitting him. He's like, I can see sound.
I can. No, I completely agree with Andres. I'm gonna have to introduce mutants. So I think we have a bit of a ways before we see an X-23 spinoff. I mean, if it's just unless it's just like a complete, if we don't get like the Logan Wolverine, like a reprisal, not a reprisal, but like a new actor to play Logan, and they just kick it off kind of like how they did with I think the new X-Men comic book that's currently out right now. I think she is on that team as now the Wolverine. So I mean, they can do that also. There's always that.
Yeah, I dig it. Thank you, Heavyweight, for that. We're definitely on board. Do we think Disney will do it? I mean, there's definitely money to be had. It's just, I think the mutual consensus is going to take a minute before we get there. Okay, and the second piece of what Heavyweight was saying, and this is again on episode 42, is really enjoy the show, guys. It's hard to drive a semi-truck when your eyes are filled up with tears and laughter.
Oh,
no. Luis, your rant about BJs should be animated. Would love to see that. So, if you're curious what that was about, I feel like I owe everybody an explanation. In the last episode, we had a nice conversation about who our same-sex crushes are. And so for the guys, our guy crushes, and then Carmen spoke about her women crushes. And then at some point in there, I said, I'm like, oh, come on. Like, we just, because Carmen was saying what guy crushes she had. I'm like, no, fuck that. We just said whose dicks we'd suck. You have to say who girls you like or whatever. And everyone was like, oh, crucify Luis because he's telling the truth or whatever. So listen to the episode.
Okay, crucify Luis.
Check out episode 42. Highlights coming soon. But thank you, sir, for your support as always. All right, next comment that we got is on episode 42 as well on our YouTube is from Vanessa Ayala. Thank you, Vanessa. Fun show. Had me laughing all the way through. Great job on the games, Ash. P.S. Glad you liked 30 Monedas so far. Yes, the mayor is definitely a hottie. Fire emoji, haha. And yes, thank you for the recommendation of 30 Monedas. It is very, very intense. Carmen, you mentioned you finished 30 Monedas recently, right?
I did, yes.
Can you give us a non-spoiler thought synopsis, not synopsis, because it's a scary show, but give us a non-spoiler review of what you thought overall.
I will give credit to the fact that it's good storytelling. So it does good at explaining the whys of things. And some horror movies tend not to explain very well the whys. This is because of blah. And then it gives background to the character of the priest, and then some of characters that will evolve. Obviously, I think there's going to be a season 2. And so it kind of builds those characters up and their motivation as to why they're doing things. Overall, I would give the show an 8. I won't spoil anything about the show. It's just some parts took me out of it. Not the storytelling, not the characters, but just the effects of some things that happen. I was just taken out of it a little bit. But overall, other than that, I like the show. I will definitely watch the second season. And you guys, when you finish it, I think that you'll most likely, Luis will probably agree with my scoring. And I don't know about 7. I think probably the same.
Cool. I'm excited to finish watching it though.
Same. Although that is for me, it's one of my shows to watch by myself. and it's hard because I have two right now. I'm watching Bad Batch by myself because my girlfriend doesn't want anything to do with that right now. And then the other one is 30 Monedas. And so lately I've been choosing Bad Batch to, like, when I have an hour to myself or whatever, check out a couple episodes of that. But thank you again for the recommendation, Vanessa. We appreciate you. And then the final comment on our YouTube before I migrate over to our Instagram is from Zach, also friend of the show. Love the show. Finally, gallery mode! Exclamation point. Great job hosting, Ash. Check you later. Because I'm told that that's how he says it. Zach, thank you so much for the love. We appreciate you, sir. And yes, for those of you who are listening to the podcast through Spotify, Apple Music, or any of the other streaming platforms out there, on our YouTube, we just started implementing a little bit more graphics. And so we're putting in a little bit more into that. And so for Ash's show specifically, initially what we do is we alternate the host duties every week. And so whenever it's Ash's show, we will be shifting back and forth from the normal portrait view to gallery view, meaning you can see everyone on screen at the same time, which is helpful when we're playing these games. And they're fun games if you want to play along with it and respond back on the answers you got, or I can't believe Louis sucks so much at theme songs, or whatever you want to say. We would appreciate it.
I don't necessarily think that you suck at theme songs. I just think that, you need to watch more TV. That's all.
It's not that you suck. We're just better.
I did not say that. I did not say that.
Everyone was thinking it. All right. So
but great job on the participation.
But we tried, goddammit.
A for effort.
And so Ash posted some bloopers on a trailer that he posted up recently regarding some bloopers before recording the trailer. And so some of the responses on that, we have Pat LaFleur. You are still fabulous. What's the YouTube? I'll support you. Thank you, Pat LaFleur, for responding. Ruby Hall. I'm crying over here. LOL. Cry face, cry face, cry face. Again, these are the bloopers. And lastly, from Lauren Bow 17, I absolutely love this. #more. So we will be posting more of our F-ups on our social media channels because we've gotten a lot of responses that you guys like to see us fuck up. So we definitely fuck up a lot. So that'll be happening more. Again, we appreciate any type of feedback and interaction you have with the show. And please keep it coming. That is the only time we really get any type of feedback to know, are we just recording this and is it going into the void, or is someone enjoying it? And you guys responding actually does fuel us a lot with being able to come back and make the show better and enhance it. So if you have any suggestions, please let us know. And with that, I will give it back to our host, Carmen. Back to you, Carmen.
Thank you. And I actually, because you just mentioned it about the show recommendations, Ash's turn last week and recommended Rapid Fire for me to watch. So I watched it. I thoroughly enjoyed it very much. There's one thing that was very funny to me, and it was the sound effects, because they weren't like synced with like what was happening. And so I would just start laughing randomly, and my sister would just look at me like, what are you watching? Is it a comedy? And I'm like, no, it's not, but it's pretty funny. But yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, for those that haven't seen it, give a brief synopsis of the film, of what it's about, and then what your thoughts were on it.
So it's about I want to say like drug lord wars, and there's the character that gets caught in between them, and then it's the protagonist of the movie, and there's a lot of shit that goes down in between like gangsters, and it's like a mafia kind of movie. It's Brandon Lee, so there's a lot of fighting, and it's good, at least to what I saw. I liked how it's choreographed. So I liked the fighting. It's like would you consider that to be a kung fu style fighting? For those of you that practice martial arts or know more about martial arts?
I've never seen the movie. I don't know.
Oh,
Gotta watch it, dude.
Andres?
It's really good.
No?
Got
Got
yeah,
anything?
sure. You could say it's kung fu.
Well, it's like a martial
mixed.
art.
Yeah.
Okay. So I liked it. It's very 80s gangster, like, not Casino, but it just took me back to the kind of era of movies where it's very gangster. Some of the language I definitely would be very problematic right now. It's like some, like racist things, but other than that, I would recommend watching the movie. It's, I would say, a classic kind of 80s and like a martial arts style fighting. So I liked it. And definitely, if you want to laugh at sound effects and how they have evolved, that's definitely going to be highlighted. But yeah, so that was what Ash recommended for me. And I have a recommendation for Louis.
Oh, pause. And I'm very excited to hear what you have. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it?
Rapid fire?
Yes.
A 9.5.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
You're gonna make him very happy.
Yeah. I was like, wait, who? Duh. So my recommendation to you. Hopefully you haven't seen it. It's a movie. It's called Instructions Not Included.
I have seen it.
No.
That Aubrey Plaza time machine. They answer a Craigslist ad.
Aubrey Plaza. No.
No.
No. This is the novella actor that has the kid.
Eugenio
No, I haven't seen that. Sorry,
okay.
I confused it with Safety Not Guaranteed.
Yeah,
that's the Aubrey Plaza.
Got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
It's really good, and based on some things that you've recommended in the past, I know it's something that you'll thoroughly enjoy it, and I'm pretty sure your girlfriend will definitely enjoy it too. So
what platform is it on?
It is currently on. Jesus, hold on. I looked it up before.
It's on. I think I've seen it on Hulu before.
It is on Hulu. Yes.
It's Hulu. Okay.
Yeah.
Instructions not included. I'm writing it down. I got it. All right.
So it is a Spanish actor, and there's some Spanish parts in the movie, but they're dubbed to English, so like no language barrier or anything like that. I would say it's a very heartfelt movie, so I can't wait to see what you think about it.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for the recommendation.
He's gonna be crying during it, and then
I have a feeling
Dana's gonna call him a little bitch.
You know what? I hate it because this bitch can cry, but the second I start to tear up, like she'll like look over at me and be like, and she'll
man up, fucker.
No, she's never said man up. She's never said man up. What she's done is she'll be like, "Are you crying?" But like she's got like full running tears. And it's like
in the midst of running mascara. It's like, are you crying? Are you crying?
Are you crying? Are you a bitch right now? You suck dick? Yeah, no. So she gets
the mascara.
she gets really aggressive.
I see you're carrying that suck dick 2 weeks in a row.
It really is.
Fit it in next week.
I don't know if that was a pun or if that was innuendo, but it was funny. Okay, back to you, Carmen.
So we love to hear what you have to think about the movie next week. But moving on, so the big news recently, or actually today, was Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney. And the reason why she's suing Disney is because Black Widow was released both in theaters and in the streaming service, and that is considered a breach on the contract that she had signed, which stated that it would only be released for a theater release. And so there's a couple of things that I would really like to discuss. when it comes to this, because then we got Disney's statement from their lawyer that says, you know, that they're very sorry to hear about the filing, because Disney fully complied with the contract, because she's also getting royalties from it being released on the Disney Plus platform, and she received 20 million for filming the movie. So I mean, that was just the statement that Disney released. So let's just get started with that. What do you guys think off the top?
I mean, do you mind if I go first?
Go ahead.
I'll keep mine very brief because a lot of the details are I feel like are being held close to the chest by both parties, outside of like what the actual suing part is for. But let's be real. So Scarlett Johansson has been part of this franchise for almost the beginning, starting in Iron Man 2. So it was definitely, she was one of the first key pieces when Marvel decided we're going to franchise this shit. Because Iron Man 1, that wasn't really the thought. It was at the end of Iron Man 1, they're like, hey, let's throw some cameos, or let's throw some after credit scenes with the Hulk. That would be fun. Or no, scratch that. Iron Man did good, and then when Hulk released, they did some shoots to put an Iron Man scene at the end of Hulk. That's what happened. Sorry, I forgot my timing.
How dare you, sir?
I know. I'll turn in my nerd card after the show. The reason I mentioned that is, so she's been along for the ride. She's been a part of this whole thing. And the idea that, like, aside from being an actress, or actor, whatever, she's a human being, and she has common sense. And so if her quote-unquote cash cow did something that she feels is legitimately wrong, it's easy to just say, forget it, I'm not going to deal with it, or I'm just going to ignore it, and that way I can be good with my career. But she took the angle of, I know how big Disney is, and I know I'm cock-blocking myself from Fox and all these other properties of being able to get jobs for, but this is wrong and I'm going to take a stand. I can't help but feel that a great deal of thought, like, you don't just say, you know what, fuck it, why not? Let's do Disney. Like, that is a big decision. And so I feel that there's more that may have happened or led up to that decision that I can't help but feel compassionate towards the person. That I'm sure that there was, whether or not it was in the contract, it's something that was, maybe something that was said. I don't know how big these contracts are, and if she's like, yeah, sure, they're not going to fuck me. And if there's some fine print of, we can also do, I don't know. And if the way that they presented it versus what was on contract, like, there's so many things that could have happened. I can't help but feel sympathetic towards the person. I'm going to take that stance. I don't know details because they haven't really been released, but like, I don't know her personally, but just based off of, this has been your employer for the last while, and if you're making this choice, it can't be unwarranted. So I hope the best. I hope it works out for her. I hope she's still able to get work despite whatever the conclusion of this is. Not necessarily with Disney, but just work in general. I hope she's not like blackballed from Hollywood and all that shit, as we've heard. I think we even talked about it last week, about actors, like well-known actors that just got blackballed from Hollywood or whatever. But that's my piece. Throw it up to whoever.
That was the really quick version. I wonder what the long one would have been.
Appreciate you fuck.
I wasn't the one rambling. I agree with Luis. Mostly everything he said. I think we don't know the contract, like it said, whether they fulfilled their end or not. The money that she made doesn't matter. If they promised her that it was just going to come out at the theaters, and she got a percentage of whatever the ticket sales, there should be legally, and I think it goes for all actors, because if they're going to start releasing movies simultaneously at the theaters and on the streaming services, then there needs to be a breakdown where you get per view or per ticket sold. So if they didn't do that to her, then she deserves whatever money is due to her. Like I said, can Disney be right? Yeah, I don't know. If they had tried to go retroactively to hammer something out and it just didn't get out, or maybe they told her no, it's like, you're getting paid what we told you, and you'll get some of whatever the streaming is. If it's what you said, Louise, and she's taking a stand for all actors going forward, where they could argue like, okay, if you're going to do this streaming releases, then this is what we're getting per stream or per view or whatever, and that's what it's going to be going forward, then I applaud her, because she's taking a hard stand. And yes, she may suffer some consequences to it, but she is an A+ actress right now. So that's the type of people that need to take stands on issues like this for all the other actors. So my hat's off to her, and I wish her well.
Okay. Now this is I see both sides of the story, and I agree with both of you. As far as if she was due something and there was no negotiations that took place, then she's owed what she's due. You know, I completely agree with that. And to your point, Luis, like, she was there from the beginning, essentially the beginning. You know, so it's not like she's lost out money. You know what I mean? Because she's been there from the beginning. But again, if we're going to go down the path of equal pay, obviously I can probably guarantee that she was not equally paid, just like the other actors, you know, that were on there. Yep. So yes, of course, her being her first solo movie, just like, you know, all the other, you know, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr. having their trilogy, this is the first one for her, you know. So given that opportunity, I'm sure negotiations for her to get X amount of dollars for that, finally getting her due for that, you know, it's warranted. Now, there's two sides to every story. There's her side and there's Disney's side. Now, I know for a fact, though, that when Warner Brothers ended up doing the whole, we're going to do both theater and streaming, they had to go back and renegotiate contracts for all the actors and actresses and producers and whatnot, because they were guaranteed that it's only a theatrical release, that, you know. So Warner Brothers spent an extra $200 million in order for them to renegotiate contracts, in order for the HBO Max thing to work out. So there's that. Did Disney do that with Scarlett Johansson? We don't know. Is it possible that her agent reached out to Disney and it fell on deaf ears and didn't go anywhere? It's possible as well. You know, so it really depends. At first glance, I will say the article does make it look like she's being greedy, you know, at first glance. But when you break it down to the actual meat and potatoes of her contract, if she's owed something for the work that she did, she's owed it. It's just like you're putting in your time at work. You put in 8 hours, you're expected to get paid 8 hours. If you go into work and you only work 5 hours, you know, you're going to get paid the 5 hours that you worked, you know? So you're bringing that talent to your job to get paid for that. Now, if that's not if your contract that you negotiated or your salary, you don't get paid that, then now we have issues, you know, especially with your employer. So I'm in the same boat. I'm hoping it gets worked out amicably so that she can get work, because I think she's a great actress. You know, I think that she brought the Black Widow persona to life, and it was great to see her on screen. But, you know, to see where she's going to go, hopefully she doesn't get blackballed, because if she gets blackballed by Disney, she's blackballed by Fox. So that's two major companies that don't want anything to do with her. So now she needs to stick with Universal, you know, or any other, you know,
or smaller
Warner Brothers, you know, and that's pretty much it. Because
the thing, like, playing off what you said, like, I think that would be perfect for Warner Brothers. Would be just like, all right, we got one of their fucking Avengers to helm up a new franchise, and it's like, boom, we got it. So I think that's probably what she's playing at. She's like, all right, you want to fuck me over, then I'll go to the competition and we'll get something else going here.
And we're going to talk about this a little later, but that's what happened with the whole James Gunn situation. Warner Brothers pounced on that fucking quick.
Oh, absolutely.
What I
It's like
would have
Absolutely.
the second he became single and be like, "Hey, girl, what's up?" Like, you know, and then
I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't already get a call.
Yeah.
Oh,
I definitely would not be surprised.
100%.
They
Like,
slid into the DMs real quick.
has anyone seen the show Entourage?
Yeah.
It's been years. So yeah.
And like it just in the show Entourage, how it's like those like entertainment agents, how the second something happens, they're like, "Oh my god, this is happening," and then they like try to get their connects to have. So to Carmen's point, I would absolutely agree with you. I think somebody did slide into those DMs and be like, "Hey, what's up? Let's talk. Let's negotiate."
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm so happy you brought that up about the HBO Max thing though, because that was one thing that I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna hold on to this nugget until everyone's done so I can bring this up." And you nailed it though. It was well, what's his name? Christopher Nolan was one of the first people, and this was before this actually started when they announced it. All of 2021 releases were going to be on HBO Max simultaneously. It was around, I want to say it was around August or September.
Yeah, I think we actually talked about it.
We did. We talked about it on this show, and he said that this is bullshit. It's bullshit for the directors and it's bullshit for the actors. And then it just kind of went away. His comment.
Yeah, exactly, and that's probably what he was referring to, because their contracts were exactly. Their contract specifically stated a theatrical release, but now if you're doing both simultaneously, I'm not going to see any of the work that I put in. I'm not going to see any of that from the streaming service. So therefore, there needs to be some sort of contract negotiation or renegotiation in order for me to get what I'm owed for the months that I put into work, you know? So if that's the case, yeah, just like you said, Luis, it just went away, you know? So $200 million.
I was gonna say that I think it's which I know it's what fucking lawyers do. It's weak that they bring up the fucking pandemic as like, oh, we just did it to get views because people don't want to go out. It's like, bitch, you're using that to paint her in a bad light when you're a multi-billion-dollar fucking business who could crush her. It's like, you want to make this good, pay her. It's like there's a contract, so you could go fuck yourself trying to get pity on fucking. It's like I will never sign with a fucking business or a company over or sports over a fucking athlete ever, and this is a fucking reason why, because you try to paint them in a bad light and call them selfish when you fucking I'm gonna go into my Disneyland rant again, but never mind. You're $1 billion industry. Get the fuck out of here.
Piggybacking on what you said, Andres, I wanted to read the direct quote that they said, warranting everything that Andres just said. And I'm only going to say half of it because then it goes on a little tangent. So starting the quote, there is no merit whatsoever to this filing. The lawsuit is especially sad and distressing in the callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of COVID-19 pandemic.
I'm going to stop everyone right there, and I'm going to read the rebuttal of her lawyers to that argument. Okay.
Oh, I didn't know there was a rebuttal.
There is a rebuttal, and it's great. It's
all right,
great.
So I'll let you read that in just a tiny second. What Andres was saying is absolutely correct. Of the studio is trying to discredit her, and now you're attacking her. But like, we're so sad and disgusted that because like, and then just pinned it to COVID-19 of like, we're sorry that we couldn't anticipate a global pandemic, like making her seem like a piece of shit when you're a human being. Like sometimes when we see him as an actor or actress, we tend to forget that of like, oh yeah, she's just doing this for more money. And it's like, wait a minute. She knows this was her ATM. Why is she doing it? There's a bigger reason for it.
Not only that, but if she didn't uphold her end of the contract, they'd be going after her ass. But it's them not holding up their end. It's like,
100%.
she's got to fucking take the pandemic into account. It's like, no, bitch, pay me.
Yeah. Carmen, you said that there was a rebuttal based off of this comment that there was a rebuttal.
Yeah. So please. The rebuttal is from the lawyer heading her defense. So it says, it's no secret that Disney is releasing films like Black Widow directly onto Disney Plus to increase subscribers and thereby boost the company's stock price. And that is hiding behind the COVID-19 as a pretext to do so. That's cowardice at its fullest. But ignoring the contracts of artists responsible for the success of its films in furtherance of this short-sighted strategy violates their rights as humans.
Wow.
It's like mic drop. But,
Wow.
yeah.
That's a 1-2 punch right there. Fucking Christ. But I mean, I agree with that. It's like I don't know. I mean,
and I do want to circle back, I'm sorry guys, to the equal pay argument that we kind of were covering. And so far, Black Widow has made 80 million in North America, and that's including its opening in theaters, and then 60 million globally on Disney Plus. But then the film through the weeks has had the momentum, and it's kind of slowing down, and so it peaked. Its growth is 318 million. So now that sounds like a lot, but when you compare that to other Marvel movies, and I'll just reference like the solo projects. Let's say, I don't want to compare it to like a male-led movie because I also have thoughts on that, but whatever. Let's compare it to Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel gross was 1,128,000,000. You know, so if they, in their contract, is saying that if they meet certain thresholds, that's how much they're getting paid out of the tickets sold. You know, like, how do you compare her getting paid out from a 318 million to $1 billion that Captain Marvel did? Like, that's completely bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, that sucks for her. So if it's in that sense, like, I totally, well, I side with her regardless. Like, if there was a contract and it was violated and if they were in mediation to redo the contract while it was released and Disney still said, let's go ahead and release it anyways, even though like our negotiations aren't done and she's not satisfied with it, it's kind of like, well, we don't really care about you, so fuck you. Like, we don't care about, what you're standing for. So it pisses me off and I'm really mad about it because I don't think that, there's 2 female-led movies in the whole like Marvel franchise so far, and I think that's kind of sad. There's a lot of female characters, and that we know about, and it just sucks that it's kind of that disparity. And I understand it's maybe like the world that it started as, and like the superheroes that wanted to be presented first, but it's kind of like, let's just step up to the game and kind of fill in those gaps, because again, it just represents society as a whole. So
a tiny segue as far as the financials of it, just to put this into perspective for everybody, of like, this was Johansson's like solo movie. This was her time to shine. This was gonna be her like her outing, right? So everybody knows Robert Downey Jr. made $50 million for the first Avengers film. He made $500,000 for the first Iron Man, but then when it became a hit, when they brought him back, they had to deal with him as far as how many ticket sales, so he ended up raking in $50 million. Age of Ultron, he was making $80 million, and then that was his average then per film. Just so that you guys understand, Chris Evans was paid $1 million in comparison, and the other actors were a lower amount of that. I looked up what Scarlett Johansson made in her first appearance, which was Iron Man 2. She made $400,000 in Iron Man 2, and she made $6 million in Avengers Assemble, which was the Joss Whedon one. So, I mean, I get it. We're talking about millions. This is obviously a first world problem. Like, it's fucking more money than I've ever seen, but
no, you're absolutely correct.
But she put in that work. And It's like, it feels unfair that it's like, this dude did he's doing this at 80 million, and it's like, okay, you have been there almost every iteration of film. Like, even if the movie, the Captain America movies, like, she was there. Civil War, she was at, like, all these films, she's there, and she's playing vital roles to it. And it's like, this is finally her chance, and it's like, we're gonna cut it. And I get it. It's because of other circumstances that happened, but it's fucked up. It's shitty. But anyway, I just wanted to read those numbers out to you.
So I think that I think we're all in agreement for the most part that we're kind of behind her if her contract was breached, in fact, and money is due to her. It's unfortunate that this pandemic kind of had its role in affecting ticket sales and the way that it performed. But I mean, the movie had already been pushed. It could have been pushed again. Would we be satisfied about it? Probably not, as fans, because we waited for so long. But they could have done better by her, I think. And that's that. Oh, yeah, please.
No, but to piggyback off of what Luis is saying, as far as the how the actors were paid, Robert Downey Jr. started off at, you said, Luis, 500,000.
500,000 for the first Iron Man, yes, sir.
For the first Iron Man, he ended up at how much? How much did you say was?
50 million for the Avengers Assemble, and then went up to 80 million, and then averaged 80 million.
Okay, get this. So if we're talking about the pay, Robert Downey Jr. was in Spider-Man Homecoming for a combined time of 15 minutes in that entire film. Okay, so if we're breaking it down that way, in the 15 minutes that he made, that he was in that film, he was able to negotiate a contract where he was essentially paid $1 million per minute in that movie. So he closed out at $15 million for 15 minutes of screen time on Spider-Man. So that's at that point. Now you're telling me that if you want to break it down that way, as far as pay goes per actor, you're telling me that Scarlett Johansson was in a movie, had her own solo film that was 2 hours, 15 minutes, let's say, and she made X amount of dollars, when Robert Downey Jr. was in Spider-Man for 15 minutes and made $15 million for something like that. So again, I see both sides. I understand where she's coming from. I understand where the business is coming from.
Yeah. And
I agree with both of you, as far as multi-billion-dollar company, there's that, someone putting in their blood, sweat, and tears into a movie, it's not obviously not easy, but it's their job.
Right.
So I see both sides. Both sides have pros and cons. I just hope that, like I said, at the end, I hope it works out for her and she's still able to find work and she's not blackballed.
Much agreed. And let's just remember the amount that Disney flaunted. We've already paid her 20 million, while Robert Downey averaged at 80. So, and again, it's more money than we've anybody on this podcast has ever seen. However, just in comparison to the grand scope of Disney writing checks for these actors for these big franchises, yeah.
Not to mention merchandising.
Whoo, we haven't even gotten started there, boy. Or the theme parks, the Avengers. There's some person walking around as, because they're not making themselves look like Black Widow necessarily. They're making themselves look like Scarlet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like they're wearing the Black Widow like suit that she wore, but they're making it look as much as Scarlet as possible. Because the Black Widow character in the comic book looks very different.
Yes.
But that's all I'll say on that.
So good luck to you, Scarlett, and hopefully Disney does the right thing, although most companies aren't known for that. But I mean, hopefully there's a change somewhere and we change the narrative. So the next thing that I want to cover is Lars Milkinson and Mena Masad cast or fan casted as Thrawn and Ezra for the upcoming appearances in the Ahsoka series. Lars Mikkelsen as Thrawn. I want to say Milkinson, but it's not Milkinson.
I just want to hear you pronounce it one more time.
No, stop. I'll probably end up saying it again. He has been reprised or fan casted as Thrawn, and then Mena Massoud is as Ezra Bridger. So I guess I'll give my opinions on this because I really like the character of Thrawn, and I believe he is a really awesome character in the universe of Star Wars. He's definitely a brilliant strategist, and I think there's a lot to do with his character if we are going to see him in a live action series or because we've already seen him in Rebels. Sorry, that was the dishes.
They're excited about Mexico scoring on Canada as well.
Yes. So we've seen Admiral Thrawn in Rebels, and he's an awesome character. So I would definitely like Lars Mikkelsen to portray the character because he was the voice. I forgot to mention that in Rebels. So, and also his brother came out in Rogue One. He's the father of Jin.
Okay.
That's his brother. So there's a likeness to them, kind of, if you could picture him. So I think he would do great as a character. I like that because then it wouldn't take me out the voice, And then I don't know much about Mena Massoud because I haven't seen the projects that he's been in. I know his most recent project or biggest project recent was Aladdin, but the live action Aladdin, but I have not watched that, so I comment to it. Although the fan art that came out, I mean, he does look like Ezra Bridger, so I'm all for it. Any thoughts on that, guys?
I saw bits and pieces of the live action Aladdin, and he did pretty good. I'm not going to take anything away from it. You know what I mean? Not meaning he didn't do it. He wasn't horrible at it. But again, it's I have my reservations with the live action stuff compared to the stuff that I saw as a kid, and that's just me. But I don't think he did horrible. I think he did the character justice, for the scenes that I did see. As far as Lars, being Grand Admiral Thrawn, and that's that when I saw the last one, I'm like, I wonder if he's related to Mads Mikkelsen, and obviously, yeah, sure enough. But yeah, I'm stoked for it. Again, it's just one of those things that we keep on saying. It's so far they've done no wrong, so I'm going to watch it regardless. So I would love to see, because I did read the books with Grand Admiral Thrawn, and I'm excited to see that.
Andres, as a fellow Star Wars fan, any thoughts?
Other than what you both said, not really. I'm excited to watch. I find the casting's fine. I didn't know who the actor playing Ezra was going to be, so I guess now I could kind of have a picture of him in my mind. So that's cool. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. It's like I said, Star Wars, and they haven't been missing on the show front. So any Star Wars is good by mine. So looking forward to it.
Yes, I like that casting, so definitely I'm on board. But this is not a subject that we have on our list of subjects, but I still wanted to ask, just to break away a little bit. It's going to be quick. Don't be super long on your answers. I am looking at you, Luis.
I was going to say, why are you looking
at the shade?
So if you were going to be dying, in
What
the
happened?
neck. There's whatever. I can't do the scenarios very well, but so would you rather die being eaten by a shark or by a bear? And why? Super quick.
Shit. You give me a lot to think about, though. Super quick.
I feel that a bear would be bigger than the shark, so it'll probably do it faster. So bear.
I disagree for the same reasons, though. I would say okay, hold on. How hungry are these animals? I'm assuming both of them are starving.
No, we cannot
See
go
me.
into specifics of the scenario.
Since sharks don't eat people, then I would go ahead and say that they're very hungry.
All right, so I'm gonna go that it's very hungry because if it mistakens me for a seal and bites, as long as it keeps biting me and kills me, I'm cool. But it's like if it's like bites and it's like, oh wait, you're not a seal, and then goes away, that sucks because now I'm gonna bleed and I'm gonna be an amputee. But assuming both of these animals are hungry, I'm gonna go shark.
MS7.
I'm going to lean towards bear only because I saw the movie The Revenant and Leonardo DiCaprio got his ass kicked by the bear, but he still survived. So,
But see, for that exact same reason, I would choose the shark because it like
because he survived.
No, but like that's torture.
I want to die.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
That's what
I don't know. The shark will pull you into the ocean and you're gonna fucking drown and then get eaten. No thanks. I don't want to drown.
You'll drown technically.
Go ahead, Luis. Go ahead.
I was gonna say technically you drown, but you'd pass out by the shock. Like you lose a limb and you're like,
I think
and then you pass out and then you get
the
water.
The bear's gonna tear you apart, so you go into shock faster, and you don't have water in your lungs, and you could actually fucking yell out instead of breathing in fucking seawater.
Yeah, I agree with Andres because I'm sure it's extremely painful to drown, you know.
I'm sure they both suck.
Sure, if he hits me with his claws, I'm just gonna fucking slice my face off, and that's cool.
That's what exactly.
Oh, swift embrace. Take me, darkness.
He just really wanted to hug me with his loving paw.
This is a bear hug. I get it now.
If a bear swats at you and ends up slicing your face, you know,
done, son. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, you know. So the bear, I take the bear over the shark. I don't need to be dragged down underwater and then trying to swim without a limb, and then all of a sudden it comes back for more.
For the record, I'm thinking Jaws size shark.
Me too.
So I'm like 2 chomps and I'm done.
A movie, you fucking children.
Right. Where's the Revenant?
Yeah, that's a movie, isn't it?
Story based on a true story.
So was Jaws.
Oh God. Fucking,
so
you're talking about you being eaten by fucking megalodon and shit, dude. Come on.
Megalodon, that would be the dream. That would be the dream.
Like, please.
On second thought, no, because then you get swallowed whole and then the stomach acid kills you. So never mind on that. I'd rather
like
get
the Night Sweet Prince.
But like 2 chomps. Dude. 2 chomps done. We're good.
See, because you're comparing.
Like I don't want little barracudas just like fucking me up. Like not barracudas. I'm saying sharks. Wait, why'd you even bring this up, Carmen? Why you want us to emulate our deaths?
Because she sent bears to our respective locations.
And if you look to your right, shark hits me in the face.
Well, you have a camera. You know that it's coming. No, I just often think of what if scenarios, and so the ones that I like usually share with people are kind of like this. So that's just an insight of my brain of like what happens, you know,
I love
what goes on in my brain. Yeah, like the first time I went to Big Bear, I to my friends that were in the car with me, I was like, how many bodies do you think are in the lake? And they're like, what the fuck? And I was like, seriously, like,
that's a good question.
It, you know?
That's a good question.
That's a valid question.
There must be at least one, if at least.
I would say at least half a dozen. Half a dozen.
No, Andres, what are you thinking? No bodies at all?
No bodies.
What? You tripping?
There's no bodies in there. There's so many people go in there during the summertime and swim and play around in that water.
Yeah, but they're not searching for shit.
What if like somebody got caught before and while they the snow came and they were trapped. I don't know. Whatever. These are scenarios that happen in my
Please keep them coming. Whenever they come up, I would love to entertain these.
Well, yeah, it's like one of those. Like as a kid, I always thought, like, if you fell off a building, would you rather die of fright or die on impact?
Impact.
Yeah. I'll be afraid the whole time. Fuck that.
That's what I'm saying. Would you rather die of fright on the way down, or would you rather die on impact?
Well, I mean, die on impact. If I can pass out by fright, I'd be cool with that.
Just like that.
And my limbs are just like floating in the air until I hit. So technically, I die by impact, but the fright passes me out, so I don't feel any pain. I'm good with that.
Oh, Jesus.
There's this documentary I think it's called The Bridge, based on people who commit suicide at the Golden Gate Bridge, and they go through people who survived that fall, and it is terrible.
That would be awful.
Okay, hold on. Fun fact. Did you guys know that a squirrel...
Did you jump off a bridge?
No. But did you know that if a squirrel was to jump out of an airplane, it can survive?
What?
No, a squirrel. So a squirrel, the velocity that it falls on, its tail has the ability to like whip down. And so it'll reduce the death velocity. And so velocity, the way it normally works, it doubles every second as it's coming down, but its tail is powerful enough to like be a certain multiplier over its weight to like right before it like gives itself a cushion before it hits the floor. So theoretically speaking, if it was thrown off an airplane, it can survive the fall. It's the only animal that can do that. Well, outside of fucking birds and shit, but like non-flying or gliding ability animals, it can survive a fall of that height. I don't know what you can do with that information, but back to you.
But it's like one of those things. It's like the one squirrel you throw out, and it fucking flying squirrel. Ah, bitch! Just fucking takes
or throw it. It didn't work.
What if just dead? The squirrel
dies in the middle of an elementary school. All the little kids.
Screeching halt.
And as I was saying, that was our super quick detour of our main point, and that was.
I'm sorry. Why would you do this? Why am I invited to this podcast? I know. I suck. Back to you, Carmen.
So there is a rumor that Marvel is also developing 9 more streaming series that we don't know the titles for or haven't released yet or any details whatsoever. Bring it on. Hopefully there's more female-led shows. You know what I mean? Yes. I didn't know where to go with this because I'm thinking about the Scarlet situation. So, I mean, I'm all for it. I support Marvel. However, the situation that's going on with Disney Plus, it's a little bit disheartening. Yes, Louise?
Live action Bad Batch, please.
Ooh, yeah.
Hunter, yeah. Hear me out. Hunter, played by John Bernthal. Huh?
Okay.
The Rambo one? That's all I had. I just want him. I know I set it up as if I had the whole cast, but I really just want him. And like
you know why he's saying this, right? Because he doesn't want John Bernthal to reprise his role as Punisher.
He's too busy. He can't do the Punisher. Oh, can you see the shirt? You see it? He can't do Punisher.
He's gonna be really
He's too busy. And then Charlie Cox has to play Sniper. No, I'm just kidding. just cast all of them. And then Wrecker. I think Batista can do a good Wrecker. I think that. Oh my god, that'd be so great.
Oh yeah, that'd be
right.
Great. Yeah,
it's like a big dude, tall. But anyway, if anybody hasn't seen Bad Batch, Carmen has been keeping up with it, and she doesn't. She's not aggressive enough with telling you guys that you need to watch it. Holy shit, this show is good. Whoever's not watching it, start watching it today. It's a fucking great show.
Pause this podcast and go watch the first episode.
Yes. Finish the podcast and then watch. And then put it in the comments.
Oh, also do put in the comments, please, if you would rather be dead by a bear or by a shark. I am very interesting to know
And then the why.
what the answers would be, yes, and the whys. And we'll
And
read
also-
those next episode.
And how many
Yes.
bodies are in Big Bear Lake?
Do you agree with Andres and say 0?
And why? And then why he's wrong.
And he writes the rolling eye emoji at you guys. So besides those projects, I'm glad that you're excited about that, and that would be great if those characters came live action. I do agree with that. So moving on, Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Lauren Cohan still want to play Batman and Joker. And so when I read this headline, I didn't know what it was in reference to. I mean, I knew that they were in The Parents, right? They played parents in the Batman versus Superman.
The Batman vs Superman?
Yes, it was. Batman vs Superman.
Okay.
I know. I get hazy with that whole Snyder shit. Like, but yeah, Batman vs Superman.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
they appeared as Martha and Thomas Wayne, respectively, right? So I didn't know if, right. So I didn't know if they wanted to reprise those roles, but obviously when I read it again and it's just they want to play Batman and Joker, I was like, oh no, they want to play Batman and Joker. So then I did a little digging to what they were referring to. So unless one of you guys want to jump in and know more about it, but I'll tell you what I found out if you don't mind. As I'm already talking.
Bring it.
So the version of Morgan referred to was the Flashpoint comic series, which provides a way for the Waynes to be resurrected, at least in some form, in this alternate timeline that has obviously diverged from Batman's typical origin story. Young Bruce Wayne becomes the only casualty in the ambush. You know, it's usually the other way around. So a grief-stricken Martha becomes deranged after the death of her son and becomes the Gotham's Joker. And so I thought when I was reading that, that's a pretty interesting storyline, and so I'm on board. I would love to see that. How about you guys?
It would be interesting. I'd be down. I saw her in the movie Lauren Caius. Is that her name?
Owen.
Thank you. She was in the movie The Child, I believe it was called. It was a horror film. So, I mean, obviously in The Walking Dead, she had like, it's the opposite of comedic timing, but just knowing how to react and where it's not over the top and stuff. And so, she's just a good actress. It would be fun to see her in that role, even if it was just like a 3-minute little something in Flash. I think it would just make the fans go fucking crazy. And then if Flash does well, maybe spinoff, you know, HBO Max exclusive, whatever. But I think there's something there. I think that the fans would be interested to see. Next up.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think when everyone saw their opening credits of Batman vs Superman, you know, they all saw Jeffrey Dean Morgan as, you know, Thomas Wayne as Batman. You know, it's such a dark turn for that character arc. You know, the mere fact that the Bruce Wayne's dad becomes Batman and his mom becomes a Joker, I think that's fucking phenomenal. I think it's great. I'd love to see that, whether it's live action or animated, either one of the two. The closest thing that we got to that was obviously the comic book, as well as Flashpoint Paradox, the animated cartoon. If you guys haven't seen that, you guys need to check that one out, because you get a little brief, like seeing her snap in the cartoon. The thing that's actually pretty cool about that is that for her Joker in the comic book, because you know how Heath Ledger's Joker, he's actually got the scars on there. What she act in the there's a couple of panels that I saw. She actually cuts herself on the sides of her mouth, but she doesn't go all the way. So when she smiles, like it opens, so you can see her teeth on the inside. Yeah, so that's just pretty dope. So there's that. Yeah, and Thomas Wayne is obviously Batman, but he's the Batman that actually kills. He carries around guns and stuff like that, and he does it his way type thing.
Gives no shit.
Complete opposite of what Bruce does. So I'd love to see that. I think it'd be great. I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan would actually be playing in a fantastic Batman. I think Lauren Cohen would be a great Joker. Not to mention that Jeffrey Dean Morgan is one of my man crushes from last episode. But I digress. So Andres, it's up to you.
Yeah, I was interested to see how they were gonna play like the ultraviolet Thomas Wayne. So that would be cool to see if they actually have him kill, which if I wouldn't see why not, since it's WB. Yeah, it would be cool. They're already doing filming Flashpoint, correct? Or
Yes.
So they probably won't include it. So I don't know how they're going to make it fit in. But then again, it's not like they have a set world or anything, so they could just fucking throw random shit at a wall, and I'm sure it'd be good. So yeah, I would want this. I want both those actors to reprise those characters. So yeah, do it. What do you have to lose? It's going to be more money for you. So
it looks like a thumbs up from all of us. Oh God. Okay. Moving right along. There's also news of the new Exorcist trilogy. It's going to be star Ellen Burstyn and Leslie Odom. Yes, Odom Jr. So I'll go to you first, Andres. How do you feel about this news?
I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, usually since Exorcist is one of my favorite films, whenever they're gonna go back into that world, I don't think anything could damage it in my view. But if it's bad, it kind of leave me a little brokenhearted, I guess. So I have that but yeah, I want to see it. I'm hoping they just do it right and justice, because there's sequels to that movie already and they weren't the best, but they weren't awful either. So yes, I want to watch it.
There were three. I know there was more than three, but there were three right after the original, and then they did like two prequels or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Something like that. Okay.
Yes.
So this project got greenlit, and it was apparently worth 400 million. So that's like a pretty penny. So whatever comes out of it, I'm sure, hopefully it would be great. I know that it is David Gordon Green is set to direct the first of the new movies, and then he will also be screenwriter. There's a little bit, I don't know if this was speculation or if this was actually, there's truth to this, but some of the plot, it was said to be Leslie Odom is going to be playing the father of a possessed child desperate for help as he tracks down Miss Burstyn's character, which was Chris McNeil, and Pazuzu, the demonic entity that from the movie, is who possessed Linda Blair character, and is evidently not thrilled to see her mother again. So that's just a plot that was, I don't know if I don't think it's leaked, but it seems like it's like a rumor. I don't know if it's concrete, but that's kind of like the premise of what they're pitching for it.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I want to see it, to be honest. But yeah, like you said, Carmen, $400 million, and I think it was Peacock and someone else that ended up on another company that
Universal Pictures.
There you go. Thank you. Universal Pictures. So it's Peacock and Universal Pictures that ended up forking out the money for this, you know? So what it kind of reminds me of, it's like one of those things, like as a kid, you know, you ask your parents, you know, like, I want this, I want this, I want this. And, you know, obviously it's expensive, right? So they ended up, so the only thing that I saw when I saw that price tag was I saw that, like, as a kid, you know, let's say, for example, I wanted the Super Nintendo, okay? And I want Super Nintendo, I want it. My parents finally buy it, and then they give it to me. It's like, if you fucking break this, I'm not buying you another one. You know, I kind of see it like that. Like, if you fuck up this trilogy, we're not buying shit anymore, man. You know, that's how I saw it when they threw in the price tag.
Universal doesn't have the best track record either. They
That's exactly why.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Like they were supposed to reboot the Universal Monsters.
Exactly.
But then they and something that Ash used to say a lot is like, dude, just stick with it. Stick with it and give us the ending to it. Like Mummy came out with starring what's his face, Tom Cruise, and it didn't hit the way that they wanted it to, and they were like, let's just jump ship. And but Invisible Man was good.
Right.
But then Mummy wasn't, and they're like, he was supposed to be our Iron Man, so we're done. And it's like, fuck. Like it would have been great I wanted to see the Creature movie. That would have been great to see a modern day creature, a
creature from the Black Lagoon.
Black Lagoon, yeah. But just regardless, and then also that Frankenstein movie wasn't good also, and the Dracula movie wasn't good. I didn't see those movies, but I heard. And reviews weren't good. But sorry, go ahead.
No, and that's what I was saying. It's like, that's the thing, is that, like, we had the Exorcist 2, Exorcist 3, and then we had the prequels, and then if you guys don't recall, Fox did a TV show on it. Ooh, you know, and I think it's on Hulu right now. 2 seasons, ended after 2 seasons. I saw the first season. I didn't see the second season. The first season was actually pretty good because they referenced a lot of what happened in the first movie. So if
the character that's going to come out in this movie comes out in that.
Exactly. And that's why I'm kind of like, okay, like, are they going to reference the TV show, or are they just going to completely, you know,
I think they're gonna take place after the original movie, thus getting rid of they're retconning the story. So those the sequels never happened.
The comparison that I read was like Halloween. How there were a shit ton of Halloween sequels, but they're like, none of that happened. After the first one, this is what happened after.
Okay.
Because like I think it was in Halloween 2 that they established that Mike Myers was the brother of Laurie Strode or whatever, and so they wanted to do away with that because Carpenter was like, no, this guy's fucking crazy. Like there's no reason as to why he does what he does. He's fucking insane, and that's even scarier. And so then they established that. That being said, Exorcist, it looks like they're taking that approach of none of that shit happened. Here we go.
But and that's the thing. The Fox show was actually really good. I liked it a lot. You know, just because they kind of treated that as a direct sequel to the first one. You know, to the first Exorcist. You know, so if you guys want to catch that, I say catch it. It's actually pretty good. I think it's well done. The second season, I haven't seen it yet.
It's worth the watch. I saw it.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. So then I need to check it out. I want to check it out now. It's on like the to-do list to watch, but it's just the way it's done. And then plus I pretty much will watch anything except Cutthroat Island that has Gina Davis in. So I think Gina Davis is a fantastic actress. She's in the show too. So
don't say what she's playing.
I'm not.
Wait. Yeah. Hold on. This just in. The 5 freeway is backed up, and I believe Ash has just joined the show. Hold on.
Yeah, it's total chaos out here, Bob.
Welcome, sir.
Correspondent on the street.
The correspondent on the street. We want the fans want to know. Exorcist direct sequel. Are you interested? Will you watch?
Did we cut off Esteban?
No, we're good.
Oh, it was done.
Yeah. Hey, I like it. You shaved it? The trees are all done?
No.
No? You just combed it a little bit?
I haven't shaved.
I haven't shaved.
You like that? Shaved?
I watched The Exorcist, but I watched the TBS version, and then what the fuck was I scared of? And then I was like, and then like my friend was like, "Oh, like you didn't see all the shit," and I was like, I saw the crawling upside down upstairs. Like I'm good, but I didn't see all that.
Like
shit.
no, there's more.
That's something. Do I sound far away? That's something I will see though. I'm down to see The Exorcist because I feel like I can hang.
Oh.
That's surprising because that Exorcist for me set a bar.
Yeah.
Well, see, I'm dealing with those prosthetics and those special effects. I'm not dealing with The Conjuring, where that shit looks like that could happen in my living room.
I guess so. But see, yeah, because I think what it did really well was set the tone.
Mm-hmm.
The tone was scary. More so.
Sorry. That is a walk-in reference. I'm so sorry. It's from Joe Dirt. Ooh, I don't like your tone. So when you said tone,
talking to my guy all wrong.
You got talking to my guy all wrong. Sorry. So when you said tone, it hit me wrong. But I don't know. I'm very interested. It's something you guys know I probably won't see, and I'll have to live it through you guys. But if it's on TV,
or we'll take you.
We'll take you. Opening night, midnight.
Oh my God, yes. I'm down. Edibles. We're in California. It's legal.
Yeah.
Back to you, Carmen.
Yeah, back to you, Carmen.
Ash, if you were to die, would you choose your method of dying, bear or shark?
I would choose shark because I feel like I would feel it a lot less. And after hearing that Grizzly Man audio, that guy was alive for a lot longer than you would think when he was getting his ass eaten. That was a no pun intended. No
He's holding both of his legs up.
Like imagine it started off like like he liked it at first.
Instant regrets of asking this question. Instant regrets.
Shark, I feel like would.
This isn't so bad.
Because the way that they tear, I feel like it would be maybe 5 seconds. Where the bear, I would feel a lot of it, especially if he was eating my honey. Yeah, bear eating ass. That's gonna be a shirt. The bear's gonna have Luis's face.
Oh,
that's the way he likes it.
Somebody please include that whole display.
Yeah, emphasis on the whole.
Okay, seriously, moving on. There were some trailers released this week. The Dexter trailer for the upcoming show, the little sneak peek.
Mm-hmm. I pause you for just. I'm so sorry. You know I love your shows. I like that you push so far oh, what did you mean by that? And then all of a sudden, like we go there and you're like, okay, but you know it's your fault. You know it's your fault. Anyway, Dexter.
This is why, I shoot the thing and then I just walk away. Just plant the idea and then I walk away slowly.
Yeah, like
we're the fuck ups. We're the fuck ups, and you're over there.
Right,
it's like I just walked away for a second. What happened?
Yeah,
these delinquents over
here.
Like
if we were in school, what would be funny is if you put X-Lax in the coffee. Yeah, and then you walk away and you're like, teacher, they put X-Lax in the coffee.
Fun fact: there was a kid that
Did you say fuck fact? Because there's
fun fact. Fun fact. There was a kid I sat next to in high school, and I always used to say things like, "You know, what would be fun? Like if the let's say the teacher was upset, and she's like, if one more person says one more thing, and I will say something stupid like, you know, what would be funny if somebody says, say what thing? Like, but he wouldn't even hesitate to be like, why would I do like." He would just volunteer, like, say what thing? Like, he would do exactly what I would say, and I would find it, so hilarious. And so I started manipulating that and just being like, you know what would be funny and whatever, and until eventually he caught on. And
you fucking villain.
Yeah.
Around senior year, he caught on?
Yeah, it took a while. Well, he was a year younger than me, so I think he was just happy that an upperclassman was talking to him.
It did.
Oh.
And then life happened.
I manipulated my power.
You guys think I can handle Dexter, Carmen?
Oh.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
No,
It's
okay.
like
An ex tried to really get me into Dexter,
Ugh.
but I would
Hey.
deep
Oh.
into Dexter. Oh, and then I saw
but
Dexter's.
Dexter is a bear.
He was trying to
in the
get you into
story.
Dexter, huh? Let's talk about that.
I saw Dexter's Esteban beard, and I was like, but then I guess that was the end. No, there was a lot of I guess a lot of promos just showed blood in the background and just whatever. So I didn't know
Okay.
how gory it
It's-
was going to be.
You would be all about it. You wouldn't stop talking about it if you started
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so the reason why you see a lot of blood everywhere is because he's a blood analyst for Miami PD.
watching.
So that's why you see a lot of
And
blood everywhere.
serial killer. So
And
he
a serial
killed-
killer.
That part.
Or is he?
And the twist
kidding.
is that he gets taught by his father how to not get caught. So he only kills bad people. So he's actually kind of like a vigilante.
Yeah.
So because he has the serial killer urges that he can't control because he's a psychopath, but he's focusing it on only bad people, people that deserve it. So the show follows him fulfilling his need to kill and finding the bad people to kill. But then because they're bad people, they can go back to. So it's like a big cat and mouse thing every season, but it's very compelling storytelling. Like it was probably one of my first TV show obsessions.
But
And
did
then-
you like the ending?
No, a lot of people didn't like the ending.
Carmen, what I was going to
I
ask.
did not. Yeah.
I always
no.
feel like I fucking bum rushed.
See, three seasons in the middle sucked. They weren't good. Like the Trinity season, absolute high, and I was like, how are they going to top this? Fun fact, they didn't. It never got topped. So like that was the peak of the show. Like
It really was.
season one, amazing. I'm hooked. Season 2 was great. Season 3 was it was okay. Season 4, Trinity Killer, amazing. Where are we going to go from here? And then it started to decline. And then they just kind of stretched it out because it was making so much money. So I have a lot of hope in the return season.
Mhm.
In conclusion, Ash, watch 4 seasons of it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think you'll curse yourself that you haven't watched it sooner. It's not scary. It's more of a like superhero shit. You'll enjoy this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was a run on. Esteban,
Yo.
agreed? New thing, fuck fact is going to be the new thing
Fuck
for
fact.
us?
Yes.
Fun fact. Okay. Fuck fact is going to be the new. Carmen.
Hey, hold on. You're hosting this show now? What the fuck is
No,
going
I was
on?
gonna. That's exactly why I
This
stayed
is
quiet
how
the
like
whole
the
fucking
audience
time.
knows that something was off because I hadn't been interrupted while I'm hosting, and so it's nice to have you back.
I stayed quiet that whole time.
You've been here 5 minutes.
My question was
I was
going
quiet
to be:
1 out of the 5 minutes.
is it because of the upset? No, not obsession. What do I want to say? The upsetness that they want to bring it back. Like they didn't like the ending, and they were like, oh, we could do better. Is that why?
No, I think it's because it has a big following, and although fans were disappointed with the ending, they know that it will carry weight, and we will watch whatever it is that's coming.
Yeah.
Whether it's gonna be good or not, like obviously we're not gonna keep watching if it's shit. But hopefully it's a redemption, and they do the character justice and the show justice.
Yep. The best line in that whole series is "Surprise, motherfucker." It's the best fucking line.
Dokes.
Yeah, the best fucking line in that entire series.
I only know it from
Dokes
the
is the
memes,
shit,
so
dude.
I don't know.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Surprise, motherfucker! Some fries, motherfucker!
Some fries. Some pies, motherfucker.
Supplies, motherfucker!
Supplies. Supplies. Baptized, motherfuckers. Like the guy, the little kids in the water. God, it's so stupid. We'll share it with you guys. You guys will laugh too.
Oh, we want to be part of the show. Thank you.
Damn, Luis, you're fucked up.
You know, in my head, it was like Andreas was like, "Oh, we're gonna end on time. We're gonna end on time."
And then Ash showed up.
Ash has
Ash
joined the
logged
group.
in. He's like, damn it.
Bitch.
Moving on.
So moving on, yes, thank you. The next topic on our list is that Skull is going to be an origin story about the first time a predator comes to Earth. I do not know a lot about the Predator franchises, so somebody please step up to the plate and give us some info, please.
Predator franchise is just pretty much an alien bounty hunter. You know, they hunt for sport. That's all it really is. You know, so they go to Earth and they're just hunting. That's all they're really doing. So
They're what?
They're hunting.
Oh,
Dick.
I heard hunting. They're hunting. They're
They
hunting.
be hunting.
Wabbit. They're hunting wabbit. Sorry, go on.
Duck season. That's essentially the premise. You know, the first one was great. The second one was meh. You know, and then they came out with Aliens versus Predator and then Predator Requiem. So
Yeah, the Predator Requiem. I saw that in theaters, and it wasn't good.
you
The guy
poor man.
from yeah,
I like Alien versus Predator. It's not fucking incredible, but it's a
Yeah.
nice.
Popcorn
not-
movie, huh?
it's not a good movie, but it's a fun popcorn movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Wasn't fucking Adrian Brody the story? The whole story was the same thing with a different character or a different. You know what I mean? Like it was like the same. Putting the mud on, like the whole thing was like.
Oh yeah,
I've
when they
seen
tried to
this.
make Adrian Brody a badass.
I was like, this is the same thing. I've seen this with it. Now I'm watching it with like fucking
It's just
Yeah, I
a
forgot about
guy.
that one.
all
Predators.
stuff.
yeah, the same movie, like the same premise, the same everything. All they needed was the little thing. The thing they always show
So
in the memes.
that's essentially it, Carmen. It's an alien bounty hunter that hunts for sport. That's it. That's what their clan does. That's what their race does.
You've never seen the first Alien or Predator? I'm sorry.
I have seen one of them. Which one? I don't know because
Is it
I
in a
was
jungle
very
or-
medicated.
Are they in the
Medicated.
jungle
Jesus.
or in the city?
In the city.
Then
Okay,
you
that's the
suck.
second one.
No, it wasn't. I had to think about it. I was like, wait, let me think back. Hold on.
No, it's not.
I
the
know
good
I
one.
could gather this.
I'm too old
Yeah.
for this shit. Oh no,
Was Arnold Schwarzenegger in it or not?
no. She said city.
Yeah, I know, but she said she had to go back and think about it.
Oh,
I'm not. I don't remember.
It was part two. Part one's way better, but it's not bad.
Got it.
Donald Glover.
I'm not saying they're not bad. I just have never.
it's a big
Have-
drop from
yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger barely beating you to like a fucking 60-year-old man. That's a big drop. All right.
Too old for this shit.
Not even
Yeah,
race.
it was-
It's like fucking
All
Yeah,
right, so when I thought about Donald Glover, I was thinking about
no Danny
Saw.
Glover. We're saying Donald Glover is somebody else.
Not,
sorry, is that-
Glover,
not
somebody
every
else.
black guy with similar names is the same.
Danny Glover is the guy that's in part 2.
Oh, not Donald Glover.
Donald Glover
is
is
fucking-
came out in
Childish Gambino?
Childish Gambino.
God damn it! All right, I'm sorry. I knew I was.
Why?
I-
Not every black guy is the same dude.
oh
Damn,
Jesus!
Damn.
Danny Glover. Then, well,
Loves chicken.
They got
Jesus.
heard it here first. No, you're such a son of a bitch.
And this is why we got canceled, guys.
this
Okay,
episode. He was in the first Saw film, and this video game that I've been playing called Dead by Daylight is a horror game. It's a 1 versus 4 video game, and it's a lot of mainstream, like it's a lot of original horror things that you can play as, but they have a lot of downloadable content that you can download, like other killers. So like Michael Myers is in it, Freddy Krueger, Pig from the Saw franchise, and it just got me thinking of that. And I just downloaded the Pig from the Saw franchise, and so when you're hunting down these killers, you can put the little like head trap thing, the tooth thing that'll like open you up or whatever, and they have 2 minutes to take it off before it kills them. And I realized that it has very little connection to what we were just talking about, but it's a really great game, Dead by Daylight. If you're into the horror genre and you want to kill motherfuckers, it's a great game. Back to you, Carmen.
There was another trailer released actually that Andres shared with us. Lamb, I believe it's called, right? Yes, Lamb. So I'm definitely gonna watch the movie, but I'll shift it over to you, Andres, to tell us a little bit of the premise of the movie.
It's a film from the A24 studio, who's a studio that put out Heredity and Midsummer. So if you like, I guess it's like kind of the leading studio for horror right now. Like before it was Blumhouse. So they have the prestige horror movie right now. Go watch the trailer. It's pretty good. I think when I had sent the trailer out, we were talking about other demonic shit, and one of us was not into it at the moment, but it looked really, really good. So yeah.
So Esteban, tell us why you have met your cap.
No, it was a joke because when we were watching the 30 Monedas, it's like the very first episode, I was referencing that, and if you guys haven't seen it, that show, it's on HBO Max. It's in Spanish. It's a horror movie or a horror show. The first 10 minutes.
Dude, the first 5 fucking minutes, you're seeing a cow give birth to a human.
Yeah, so there's that. Okay, so that's the
like
premise.
Ash's face.
Yeah, so it's like I saw that, a cow give birth to a human baby. There's that, So I watched that, and then you see what this child becomes throughout the entire episode. Then I see Lamb, the trailer that Andres sent, and you see this fucking half human, half lamb. And first off, lambs and goats, they creep me the fuck out because of their eyes. Like their eyes are creepy as fuck. Yeah. Their eyes are creepy as fuck. So it's like So to see in the trailer, because you see in the trailer, it's not like a spoiler or anything. It's like a human body with the head of a lamb. I'm like, you know what? I think I've met my fucking quota with like half human, half animal demons. So I think I'm good. And then in the group chat, I said that, and Andres is like, no. I'm like, no to the. He's like, no. Okay, I'll watch it. So
I think this is very up your alley, Ash. Are you gonna watch?
Absolutely not. The thing I was gonna say was that it's real weird that like Esteban could watch like somebody's eye being sliced in half and be absolutely okay, but see a goat eye and be like, goat eye, where I would be like, it's a goat's eye. Like, cool. Like, I'm like, do you know what I mean? It's like you can see the worst shit ever. And then like, I could just be like, it's like you being scared of like a pinky nail. Like, I hate pinky nails. Like, how they're real thin on your toe, and then it get real sharp and it cuts your significant other or Luis on a Saturday night. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. Cut your nail. That won't happen.
Yeah. Fucking it always backfires on me. Huh? No, it's just weird
file
that
them.
it like file them.
Would you like a pedicure?
My foot on Luis's knee, just fucking filing it, getting nail shavings all over his knee. Anyway, but no, it's just weird.
Camera goes to me. I'm like, totally know what you mean.
Totally, and it's all on camera. But no, it's just weird that like
a foot,
a goat's eye would creep you out, but you can watch Hannibal where the brain's getting eaten and you're fine.
It's not like I'm like super like creeped out. Like I'll get uncomfortable and I'll be like, that's cool, and then just like try to move on to something else, Yeah. So it's
that's cool.
Fucking horse blinders like right after that shit, dude. It's right behind me, isn't it? It's right behind me. It's right behind me.
Sometimes when I watch,
just do that like a people.
Hey, bitch.
Like
You were like muting and unmuting and muting and unmuting as you were talking because you
like
were so
muting and
close to your
unmuting
mic.
and muting. Fuck fact. You got it.
Yeah, fuck fact. But the thing about scary films is like there are parts where I can't deal, and I do like I just like I vocalize my frustration,
Oh no.
and yeah, like
That's funny because I don't have that for horror movies, but I have anxiety. So if there's like awkward, cringeworthy scenes in movies, like I've had to like change the channel or stop, or I like to
really.
can't do this. Yeah.
See, I've never changed a channel on a horror
Oh
film, but like even if I'm
no.
watching it by myself, I'll say, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" Like I'll do that. But like in the cringy shit, I'll
Oh, no.
purposely look away, but
I'll
it'll
even be
still
like,
play. Really, it makes me that uncomfortable. That's fascinating. But that goes back to what Ash was saying, as far as like everyone has their quota, their limit of what they're able to take. And Esteban,
Ew.
I would imagine the reason that goats freak you out is because they symbolize demonic entities or whatever. So like
Yeah, essentially.
right, I would imagine that
Yeah.
because I know that's how it is with me.
That's
And their eye, and their eye is like that oval fucking almost
Oh, those are
360
Rams.
view or whatever. So like seeing that, it's like I understand the discomfort because I feel partial of that discomfort too because I grew up Catholic. But someone like and then Ash not really giving a shit and be like, oh, I can't watch The Conjuring, but I can stare at a goat all day. Like, you know, just but
I don't like my sentence of I could stare at a goat all day.
but yeah.
I made it to Paranormal
So,
4.
I'll take it out for dinner. Not all day.
Not a day.
Yeah. I don't want to be there all day. Fuck, I got shit to do.
Got podcast to record, baby.
What was I gonna say? Oh, Paranormal Activity 4. Is that the one with the reality one?
Those don't count. Yeah.
I made it through the wilderness. Sorry, I did a song quote. Fuck, what am I thinking? Okay, so he came down the
American
ladder
Horror
with
Story?
black eyes. Paranormal Activity. He came down the ladder with black eyes, and I was all, I'm out. But like in the beginning, like a guy's bends backward and his back breaks, and I was like, I'm fine, I'm good. And it was the waiting for the bad stuff to happen. Like I guess it was kind of like on a roller coaster. Just get me to the fucking hill. I don't want to. I hate that shit. Yeah, I don't like that shit. Like in Supreme Scream, I would rather do free fall where you don't see anything, you just come out, fall, or the haunted house one. Come out, fall, you don't see anything, rather than then I'm like, I'm out, and then I'm all grabbing on Esteban's beard, get me off this ride, you know.
You always grab on my beard.
Did you just randomly start that movie, or did you see all the others?
It was one of those. It was like The Conjuring. It's one of those bets. Like, fuck, I bet you can't do Paranormal Activity 4, and I was like, yeah, I can.
Why part 4? Weird.
Yeah, I mean, I was a big fan of. I just looked up her name, Katie Featherston. I was a big fan of hers off of the first film, and so I continued to watch the films because of her.
When the Office,
she was in the second one, wasn't she?
Yes, she was. She did a cameo in the fourth one. Apparently, she was in Insidious also. I didn't know that.
Carmen.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I am very
Andres,
conscious of the last time you talked. Every time we go on this tangent, when you're hosting, I'm very conscious. Like I keep wanting to like go back to you, and it's like, and then when I was 5, and then it just. I'm so sorry. It went like right on track when I wasn't here, right? Please don't say yes.
Yeah, actually, we were almost done. We were about to wrap up.
All right. Yeah, well,
we were about to log off, and you showed up, and so here we are, another hour in. I'm just kidding. No, it has not been an hour, but no, I'm glad that you're on the show.
Thank
you.
That boy.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go. So the last thing that we will probably talk about today is going to be the Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer, which that movie looked really, really good to me. So I think we had already talked about it before, and I'll say that it's nostalgic for me because of my grandpa and stuff. So I will definitely be watching. It'll definitely take me to the moment, because also today would have been his birthday. So anyway, yeah. Cheers to you up in
All right,
heaven where you are.
let's make it
100%.
official. Let's make it official.
Oh,
Cheers.
so I ran out of my drink, so cheers.
Today's my aunt's birthday too, so samesies.
So definitely double cheers.
Cheers.
But I mean, I'm taking away from just saying in general. Cheers. Is that when you take yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll be watching the Ghostbusters movie. I like I said, I mentioned before, I like the nods to the old movie, the car and like the characters. So I'm all on board. How about you, Esteban?
I'm excited for it. I think this is one of those movies that it's like we kind of been waiting for, but it's like we never really like. It's not kind of like our how we are waiting for the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Like we're just like anticipating. You know, it was like one of those like it'll come, it'll show up one of these days. You know, I'm excited for it. I have my theories on it. You know, but I'm happy that. In the trailer, we saw Annie Potts in there. We saw, you know, an old photo. Like they're heavily referencing the previous movies, and I think it's fantastic. The very end of the trailer, where you see Ray's hand pick up the phone and he answers. You know, I think that's great. I'm happy. I want to see what's happened, you know, to them. You know, ever since after the second one. But I think what I'm more excited about is I'm excited to see. Like who they're going to be bringing as far as the big bad, you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm excited for. I want to see that. I want to see how they're going to do that. And it's like I want to see the relationship against like with certain people, because it's like the way I see it. It's like I think Annie Potts plays a bigger role in the movie instead of just like, hey, this was your dad's and blah 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 blah, you know. And you know, I have a feeling she plays a bigger role, and I don't want to speculate just yet because I want to wait a little bit more, you know, until we get closer to the date for it to come out. But I am excited. It's a very nostalgic movie for me. So I'm in. It's a very quotable movie. I love it.
3 shots versus 3 shots, Esteban. Annie Potts says, "Ghostbusters, what do you want?" I say she's gonna say it in the movie. What do you say?
I don't think
no?
I don't think so. I think it'll.
That's our bet.
No.
That's our bet. Wow, rolling your eyes like you're Carmen. Jeez, I'm getting from 2 of you guys now.
Well, fucker, it's like you don't let me finish. You're like, oh, that's it. You said no.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did cut you off. I'm cutting you.
I think he's very used to.
And then you cut off his explanation why he's upset about you cutting him off. This is a paradox, I think.
I'm sorry, I'm listening.
No, it's all good now. No, you already said it.
Do that. You know I love you.
This is a moment where I would definitely turn off the TV or whatever was happening. That was very like uncomfortable for me. Yes.
Luis, we now have Carmen's thing. Thank you. We all have a thing now. Nope, that came out weird. But yes.
And that's about it, guys. This is wrapping up the show today. So
no one else can talk about Ghostbusters, or we're good with the 7?
No, nobody else, because nobody else jumped to talk about it. So
yeah, you're right.
Thank you for again interrupting me and letting the listeners know that you take control of the situation. And when you feel like somebody hasn't spoken, you want to let them speak. So as on track as we are always.
You know what's sad
I'm just
is
kidding,
besides Esteban, your show is like what my favorite to do. What?
Fuck you.
and Andreas and you, but I'm trying to fucking be. Come on,
What the fuck am I
man.
lost?
He's like, I have to make up somehow on interrupting, so I have to say this.
Sorry, it's only because I haven't been on the show and you guys have, and so I'm just the one thing I want to say is that they have the perfect amount of nostalgia and legacy. It doesn't feel like it's a complete passing of the torch where the other iteration was. It kind of felt like, hey, we're passing the torch. You cast take that off. This one kind of feels like more like, why are they going to bring in Ray? Is Ray going to be a part of it? Which is Bill Murray? Did Bill Murray ever actually get with Sigourney Weaver? Like a lot of things I feel can be answered in this movie, whereas it was kind of like in the other movie, it was kind of more, hey, thanks for the fucking franchise, we're out. And I think that's why it didn't take off. It had nothing to do with the gender of the cast. It had everything to do with these people are doing it right. The female Spangler is going to be awesome. It's just and I like that it was and I like that too. The Ecto One has almost that Ninja Turtles van feel where she comes swinging out like the turtle van does. Like, and then I don't know. It has the perfect amount of, hey, don't change my shit, and thank you for changing my shit. You guys can end the show now. I'm sorry.
Now that he has spoken.
It does feel like a Michael Bay film. I did interrupt her one last time. It did feel like a Michael Bay film with a good fucking story, like the great amount, no less, but like all the little action, slow-mo, like all the things you want to see, but with a good story. I promise I will shut up now.
Oh, I gave it a pause to see if there was going to be more, but I guess not. And I didn't see that anybody else had other thoughts besides the ones expressed. That's why I didn't go to anyone else. I wasn't trying to just cut off the show, but you felt very importantly about your thoughts. So I'm glad you got to express them. Very good. But with that note, again, this is going to end our show. Please leave us your thoughts, your comments on Bear Shark. Very interested to read those. Also, subscribe, share us with your friends, as Louise mentioned earlier, and have a good night, good day whenever you're listening to this. And we are Comix.
And we're everywhere.
That's right. Good night.